Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Here we are for another BJKU Q&A session. Today we're going to talk about how do we actually generate leads in this AI strategist business. And a lot of people have been asking questions like, what specifically do I do to get leads and move them from a lead, from a prospect to a lead to an actual customer? And one thing that you got to understand at the beginning of any business, you got to kind of beg, borrow, and steal to get those first couple of customers. And once you do, it becomes a hell of a lot easier. It's very difficult to go from 0 to 1, but to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, like that one I could teach you how to do like that. That's just a difference of strategy, a difference of systemizing things and stuff like that. But a lot of people are wondering, like, where the hell do I get started? Well, here, number one is Upwork. Now, Upwork is just a placeholder for a marketplace. There's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's Clutch, there's Alignable. There's a bunch of these different places that are marketplaces where you can meet people, see what kind of gigs that they post, and do a proposal for them to see, like, hey, look, I can do this job. I can help you. I can make this happen. Now, a lot of people kind of poo-poo on that idea of like Upwork, oh, that's for cheap people and everything. But you got to remember that in the AI space, there's no central place to get help with AI. So every small business that's out there, they see it on the news all day, every day. They're like, oh my God, AI is coming. It's changing things. My competition is using it. They're getting better than us. I don't know what's happening. So there's already an internal kind of battle going on for them. They know they need AI to stay competitive, but they can't go down to the street to the AI store. Like there is no AI, you can't go to Best Buy, go to the Geek Squad and have them install AI in your business. So they need people like you and I, people who are consultants and freelancers and fractionals and specialists and agency owners. They need us to be able to install these automations inside of their business. So because they have no central place to go, they go back to places like Upwork or Fiverr or whatever else. And you might be surprised at how much money people are spending on these platforms to get help. I mean, I just looked at Upwork just the other day, and some of the companies that are on there looking for chatbot development or website development or anything along those lines, I mean, they've spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the platform. So it's not like they're just spending $20. They've got a real business and they're spending real money on that platform. So that would be number one. Number two is what we like to call the Dream 25. This is your referral network. This is an original strategy from a gentleman I got to work with for like 2 days before unfortunately he passed away. His name was Chet Holmes, wrote a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. He talked about what's called your Dream 100. Who are the top 100 clients you could ever work with? And really what we want as a brand new budding business is not who are our dream clients, but who are our dream referral partners. So a lot of people make the mistake when they start a business, they go to their friends and family and try to sell them whatever they have. And you don't realize that your friends and family aren't going to buy what you have to offer. It doesn't really matter what you're offering. It's your friends and family. They're not going to buy it from you, right? We would imagine they'd be a little bit more supportive, but they're not our customer. They're not our clientele, right? My mom is not going to buy AI from me, right? That's just not how that works. However, my mother might know 2 or 3 business owners, restaurant owners that she visits. She knows a mechanic that works on her car. She knows some people who know some people. And one thing that you can do immediately to go from 0 to 1 is to make sure that you reach out to these people every single day and say, hey, listen, I've started this AI strategist thing. I'm getting certified as an AI business strategist. I'm working on this. I'd really like to turn this into a career, potentially turn it into a business. Who do you know that owns a business that I can go out and help? And maybe you help for free at the beginning just so you get some experience, number one. Number two, you don't just do work for free, you're doing work for more referrals, for more introductions. And warm introductions are like gold. Like, hey, could you put us in a 3-way text message? Hey, can you just introduce me to so-and-so? Hey, could you tell them I'm going to email them? Could you tell them I'm going to call them? So you get that warm introduction in advance. And that's definitely one of the best ways. 80% of our students right now who are making money in the BJKU, the Certified Strategist program, 80% of them got their first couple of deals through referrals like that. So I would highly recommend you do the same thing. Next up, we have local and digital businesses. Here's the difference. A local business is someone who has a physical location nearby, and it doesn't, I guess, have to be nearby for you. Like we have a bunch of students who live in Europe who sell to the US. We have people in the US who sell to other parts of the world. Like most of my clients are out of the US. So it's just kind of funny how that works. But when we say local businesses, I mean someone with a physical location. And a lot of the places here in the US are service-based. We're talking HVAC and plumbers and roofers and contractors and dentists and and surgeons and chiropractors. Like, imagine anybody who has an office building or a clinic, and maybe they've got trucks, they've got employees. And the way I talk about it is the way that you know they're a good local business is if they have a lease, meaning they're leasing out a building, an office space, a clinic, something along those lines, because you know they got bills to pay. So, and this is one of the big distinctions that you have to understand. When you're cold outreaching to people, it's got to be the right people. Cold outreach doesn't just mean blast everybody all the time, all day, whether they could be a potential lead or not. It's about really clearly identifying who are your best buyers and then reaching out to them with something that would actually make sense for them. So if I'm going to reach out to a massage place, and I'm not going to go to the massage place and say, hey, look, I need to sell you a chatbot. Like, they don't even know what that means, but they do have a problem with people either booking appointments and not showing up, or a problem with they can't answer the phone when they're with a patient or a client, whatever you want to call it. So they've got these little issues. So you say, hey, look, it's possible that you may have missed some calls over the last week, and we're installing AI voice agents that actually book appointments for you when you're in the middle of a session. So, you can still answer the phone, but we've got some cool automations. We can help you out. Something along those lines. But again, I'm looking for someone as a lease. Why? Because they got money and they got bills to pay. So even if they hate your guts, which, most human beings don't hate your guts, you understand that. But even if you're cold outreaching and door knocking or whatever, they know they have to make rent next month, so that even if they don't like you, they'll hear you out. Back in the day when I owned a karate school, that was one of my first big businesses, the Yellow Pages guy would come in, and I've got 60 kids in class, everyone's yelling, screaming, jumping around, going crazy. I got music blasting, and here comes the Yellow Pages guy, knock, knock, hey, can I sell you Yellow Pages ads? And I didn't even like the guy. He was kind of a jerk, but every single time I would stop what I was doing and I would go talk to the Yellow Pages guy, because I knew I had to get new students in next month and I had to run some advertising. So one thing that you have as an advantage is a lot of people know they need AI right now. They know they need help installing it, so they're willing to hear you out. Now, your job is just to make sure you do a good job communicating it, right? Which is why you got to learn a little bit about this business. You can't just go, I can sell you chatbots, I can sell you voice bots. Like that's never going to work. The last one is digital businesses. And you would be surprised at the people who are really techie, who just don't want to touch AI. They don't want to deal with it because they're busy. Web design agencies and branding agencies and marketing agencies and even AI agencies. A couple of our students are really good at selling, but they hate the tech. Like, they can do it, but they just don't want to do it. So they're willing to hire it out to other people who are willing to actually do that kind of work. And that way they can sell faster, they can grow faster, they can do all that and not get bogged down in the details. So these are the 4 places that we look for. And when I say 17 to 25 outreaches per day, I mean, look, if you wake up in the morning, you do 2 proposals on Upwork, you do 5 outreaches to referrals, you do 5 outreaches to local businesses, you do 5 to digital businesses. Now you got a routine and you can start to reach out to people. If you did this every day for a month, you would have your first couple of clients. No holds barred, like no problem whatsoever. But most people just don't put in the work. They just don't do this. And the reason why is they don't organize their list ahead of time and they don't know what to say. So do yourself the favor of go and figure out, like, who do I want to reach out to? Give me a list of a couple hundred, couple thousand people that I'm going to target. And let's figure out, what am I going to say to them? How am I going to outreach to them? How am I going to follow up with them? Am I going to call them, text them, email them? What am I going to do? And then what does those messages need to be in order for them to get some sort of interest? So again, if you just did this 17 to 25 outreaches a day, that's a lot of freaking outreaches per month. And if you just did that, you'd get a couple clients in your first month doing this business, as long as you know what you're doing. So look, if you're looking for more information, come check us out on our webinar. There's going to be a link somewhere here in the description. We do a live training class almost every week now, and I teach you exactly what to do, where to look for people, all this good stuff. So if you want that, come check it out.